Welcome to Threads of Truth, a podcast where real-life mysteries meet internet speculation. Today's episode asks one of the strangest questions we've ever covered. Can someone from the future show up on Wall Street? We're diving into the really bizarre, definitely captivating, and let's be honest, statistically impossible tale of Andrew Carlssin. Just picture this. A man allegedly turned something like, what, $800?
Just $800, yeah.
Into an astonishing $350 million.
Yeah.
And he does it with this apparently flawless string of stock trades back in 2003.
Right, flawless.
And then when he finally gets caught, his explanation is just, well, he says he's a time traveler from the year 2256.
That's quite the explanation.
So what do you think? I mean, could this possibly be real? Or are we looking at maybe one of the most compelling and widespread internet hoaxes ever cooked up?
It's such a fascinating place to start, isn't it? Because even stories that sound completely wild, just utterly outlandish, they have this incredible way of just taking root and, well, flourishing online. This story, Andrew Carlssin, it taps into some really deep stuff.
Like what?
Well, you've got the dream of impossible wealth, right? Getting rich quick. Then there's the whole mystery of time travel, which everyone loves to think about.
Sure.
And then it wraps it all up in this neat little package of like conspiracy and government secrecy. It's perfect.
So it's more than just a weird story.
Oh, definitely. It's not just some quirky anecdote. It's actually a brilliant case study in how a totally improbable claim can grab the public imagination.
Right.
And then just hang around online for decades, literally decades, even after it's been, pretty thoroughly debunked.
And the fact that it lasts so long.
Yeah, the resilience of a story like this tells us so much about how we consume information now, how we share it, and sometimes, thankfully, how we choose what we want to believe in the digital age.
That's what makes it so sticky, I think.
Yeah.
And this wasn't just some quiet little rumor whispered in a corner.
No, not at all.
This thing went viral. Before going viral was even really a common phrase.
Exactly. Early internet viral.
The story, as it spread across those early web forums and email chains, it painted this very specific picture, almost like a movie scene. So let's set that scene. It's March 2003. There's this buzz starting about a guy named Andrew Carlssin. He's reportedly arrested, not just by anyone, but by the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and maybe even the FBI.
Right, the big guns.
And the charge, it's something just, well, completely unheard of in finance. What exactly was he accused of doing?
Okay, so the core accusation was, if you actually believe the story, nothing short of miraculous. Or maybe suspicious is the better word.
Suspiciously miraculous.
Yeah, maybe. He was alleged to have pulled off this absolutely unbelievable string of successes on the stock market.
Unbelievable how?
We're talking 126 high-risk stock trades.
Okay.
High risk.
Volatile stuff.
Exactly. And every single one of them supposedly was successful, all within just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. He apparently took an initial investment, that $800 we mentioned.
Yeah.
And through these perfect trades, turned it into over $350 million.
Okay, stop right there.
I
mean, that's statistically absurd.
It's beyond absurd. To really get it, think about the odds. Making even, say, 5 or 6 successful high-risk trades in a row is incredibly difficult, bordering on impossible luck.
So 126.
126. It's like flipping a coin 126 times and getting heads every single time.
Or winning the Powerball 126 times in a row.
Precisely. It just defies everything we know about how markets work, about volatility, chance, risk management, all of it.
So that kind of success doesn't just raise a few eyebrows?
Oh, no. It doesn't just raise red flags. It sets off every single alarm bell in the entire financial system. It immediately flags him as, well, either he's a once-in-a-species genius.
Unlikely.
Or he's impossibly cosmically lucky.
Also unlikely.
Or there's something else going on. It's something completely outside the realm of normal explanation.
And something else entirely is exactly what he supposedly confessed to, right, during his interrogation.
That's the next beat in the story. It claims that during this 4-hour grilling by federal agents, Carlssin didn't try to deny anything. He didn't offer some complex explanation about algorithms or a lucky break.
No. What did he say?
Instead, he apparently just dropped a bombshell. He confessed to being a time traveler.
Wow.
Not just from, a few years ahead,
Yeah.
but from the year 2256.
2256. Very specific.
Very specific. And he boldly claimed he'd used his advanced knowledge of future market events, knowing exactly which stocks would skyrocket and which would crash.
Because he'd already seen it happen.
Exactly. Or at least had access to historical records from his time. He knew it was coming, and that's how he made the money. Imagine saying that to the SEC.
I can't even picture that conversation. Sir, how did you make $350 million? Oh, I'm from the future.
It's where the story really pivots, doesn't it? Right into science fiction territory. Pure sensationalism. It feels like it was designed for maximum impact, maximum intrigue.
And it didn't stop with the confession, did it? He made some offers.
Oh, the offers. This is maybe the most outlandish part. During the supposed interrogation, he didn't just confess. He then reportedly made these absolutely incredible offers.
In exchange for what?
For leniency, basically. And crucially, he wanted the chance to return to my time machine. That was the quote.
Return to his time machine.
Okay.
What were the offers?
Well, they weren't small things. He claimed he could reveal the exact whereabouts of Osama bin Laden.
Wow. In 2003.
In 2003. Remember, bin Laden was, without a doubt, the most wanted man on the planet. Finding him was the absolute #1 priority for the U.S. for global intelligence. The idea that someone could just tell them where he was.
Mind-boggling.
Right, like finding lost car keys. And on top of that, he supposedly offered a cure for AIDS.
The cure for AIDS?
Yep, a medical breakthrough that would literally change human history. And a pandemic that had devastated the world for decades.
So, world peace and miracle cures, basically.
Pretty much. But there was a catch.
Always a catch.
He absolutely refused, apparently, to disclose the location of his time machine. Which, you know, if it were real, would be the single most valuable, game-changing piece of tech in history.
So the stakes were galactic.
According to the story, yeah. Couldn't be higher. Global security, public health, the nature of time itself.
Okay, so he makes this completely wild confession, offers these unbelievable secrets, and then what? He just walks.
He vanishes. That's the next act. The story claims some mysterious, unnamed benefactor suddenly showed up and posted his bail.
How much was the bail?
$1 million. Cool million.
Okay.
So he's out on bail. He's due in court in April 2003, but he never shows up. He just disappears. Reportedly vanished from custody, never seen again.
And the mystery deepens.
And to add one more layer to this conspiracy cake, as you called it, the FBI reportedly couldn't find any verifiable records of Andrew Carlssin existing before December 2002.
Like he just popped into existence.
Exactly. It was as if he just appeared out of nowhere a few months before his big Wall Street splash and arrest. No birth certificate, no driver's license, no school records, no social security number. Nothing.
No past.
No past. Which, of course, feeds right back into the time traveler narrative.
It's those specific details, isn't it? They're so tantalizing.
That's precisely why the story is so potent, so sticky. Every single element, the insane amount of money, the time travel angle, the bin Laden secret, the AIDS cure, the mysterious bail benefactor, the vanishing act, the lack of a past.
Yeah.
It's all perfectly calibrated to grab your attention and defy any simple, boring explanation. It hits all those buttons for what we find fascinating.
Cool.
Wealth, sci-fi impossibilities, spies, conspiracies, maybe even a little bit of the supernatural.
It's a perfect storm.
It is a perfect storm of narrative elements that just beg for endless speculation because they're so specific yet totally unverifiable in our reality. It almost feels like it was engineered to go viral.
That's a really good point. It feels crafted. Yeah. Okay, so we've laid out the viral story, the one that caught fire on the early internet, feeding that fascination we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But now, the crucial question. Where did it really come from? What did our deep dive find about the actual origin? Because the truth is usually, well, less exciting.
Often less exciting, yeah. And maybe more telling about how stories spread. This tale didn't leak from some classified X-file or an FBI insider. No. The actual documented original source was, drumroll please, the March 25, 2003 edition of the Weekly World News.
The Weekly World News. Wait, seriously.
Seriously.
Okay, for anyone listening who might not remember or know, the Weekly World News wasn't exactly known for its hard-hitting journalism, was it?
That's putting it mildly. It's absolutely crucial to get the context here. This wasn't a newspaper. It was a satirical tabloid, explicitly known for making up the most outlandish fictional headlines imaginable.
Right. Their whole business model was entertainment through absurdity.
Exactly. They published completely fabricated stories as news, but everyone was sort of in on the joke, or at least they should have been. We're talking about the paper that gave us Bat Boy found in cave.
Classic.
Or Alien endorses Bill Clinton. Or, one of my personal favorites, Elvis found alive on Mars.
Okay, I get the picture. So Andrew Carlssin's story fit right in there.
Perfectly. It was exactly their kind of story. Sensational, unbelievable, playing on current events like the stock market boom and bust, but totally, utterly false. It was fiction, published in a place known for fiction. The context was satire. End of story, right?
You'd think so. But if it started in a place like Weekly World News, a paper famous for making stuff up,
Yeah.
how did it suddenly get taken seriously? How did it escape that context?
Well, that's where the domino effect kicks in. And it's a fascinating, maybe slightly scary look at how misinformation takes root, especially online.
So what happened? How did the dominoes fall?
Okay, so this story, published as satire in the Weekly World News, gets picked up by a small, independent online news outlet. We don't know if it was deliberate or just sloppy, but this outlet, they removed the satirical context.
It just reported straight.
They republished the story without any disclaimer, without mentioning the source was known for fiction. They essentially presented it as a real news report.
Oh, boy.
And from there, the first domino tipped. Other media outlets, including some that were, supposedly more reputable, they started aggregating the story. They just saw it pop up on this other online news source and repeated it without doing the basic check. Where did this site get it? What's the original source?
Nobody traced it back to Bat Boy territory.
Apparently not. Imagine dropping a pebble in a small pond at the Weekly World News. That ripple hits the edge and connects to a stream, the first website that republished it without context. That stream flows into a river, other news aggregators, and eventually forums and emails. That single fictional ripple traveled way further than it should have.
And it shows a huge vulnerability, right, in how news spreads online, even back then.
A critical vulnerability. The terrifying ease with which unverified, or worse, decontextualized information can just spread like wildfire and suddenly gain this appearance of legitimacy just because it's being repeated everywhere.
And as it spread, did the story itself change? Did it, evolve?
It absolutely did. That's another key part of how these myths grow. As it got repeated and shared, details were sometimes added or maybe subtly shifted, often in ways that made the story even more compelling, even more mysterious.
Like the no digital footprint thing.
Exactly. The idea that Carlssin had no records before December 2002 wasn't some clue pointing to time travel. It was simply because he was a made-up character.
Right. He didn't have a past because he wasn't real.
Precisely. But the narrative flips it. The lack of a real past, which is evidence of fabrication, gets twisted into evidence for the time travel theory. It becomes proof of his mysterious origins.
It highlights how repetition and taking things out of context can give a hoax legitimacy. The absence of evidence becomes the evidence.
It's a perfect example of that. It's almost like this organic collective myth-making process. The void left by the lack of a real person gets filled with the most exciting explanation, not the most obvious one that it's just fiction.
It's like seeing shapes in clouds. Apophenia, you called it.
Yeah, seeing patterns where there aren't any. The unverifiable past goes from being a sign of fake to a sign of mystery. It actually strengthens the story for people who want to believe it.
And despite this clear debunking, tracing it straight back to the Weekly World News, a huge chunk of the internet discussion around Carlssin still doesn't just dismiss it, does it?
Not at all. It thrives on the what if.
Yeah, you find endless forum threads, YouTube videos, TikToks. Maybe they'll give a nod to the Weekly World News, but then they spend ages playing out the theoretical side. It's like the origin is just a technicality.
Mm-hmm.
The fun part is asking, okay, it's fake, but what if it wasn't?
That what if is absolutely key to why it won't die. There are still communities out there, literal believers, who insist Carlssin was real and the whole thing was suppressed.
And they have proof.
They cite things like, supposed leaked documents, blurry photos that could be anyone, super detailed analyses of his alleged trades. None of it ever holds up to scrutiny, of course. It's never properly sourced or verified.
And the debunking.
For these groups, the debunking itself is often twisted into part of the cover-up. See? They want you to think it's fake. It becomes this self-sealing argument. Every piece of evidence against it just confirms the conspiracy for them. It's classic confirmation bias.
Which leads us right into one of the big logical holes that people love to debate online, even the skeptics.
Mm-hmm.
The time travel paradox bit.
Yes.
If time travel is real, and Carlssin was from 2256,
Yeah.
why was he so incredibly obvious?
Mm.
So reckless? Making billions on Wall Street is hardly keeping a low profile.
It's the central inconsistency, isn't it? It fuels so much discussion. If you really had that power, that knowledge, access to a time machine, surely you'd be smarter about it.
Right, you'd be subtle.
You'd understand the risks of changing the past or just drawing massive attention. You'd make small, untraceable gains, maybe, or use the knowledge for something bigger, quieter, not flash $350 million around on Wall Street.
So his sheer recklessness seems illogical for a real time traveler.
Exactly. And that apparent lack of logic becomes the playground for all the what-if theories. You either have to dismiss the story or you have to invent reasons why he acted that way.
Which brings us to the mission theory.
Right. Maybe he wasn't reckless. Maybe the obviousness was the point.
How so?
This theory suggests his loud, aggressive trading was actually part of some larger hidden mission, something we can't grasp from our 21st century perspective.
And the bin Laden and AIDS cure offers.
They become Exhibit A. See, he wasn't just greedy. He had this higher purpose. Maybe he wanted to get caught. Maybe getting arrested was step one in some grand futuristic plan to deliver that information or achieve some other goal.
It reframes his actions from dumb to deliberate.
Precisely. It's a really clever way for believers to patch the plot hole. If his actions seem irrational for a time traveler, well, maybe the irrationality is the strategy. It turns him from a clumsy gambler into a kind of covert temporal agent. Adds layers. Makes it more mysterious.
But then there's the opposite theory, the accident theory. What's that one about?
This one flips it. Maybe he wasn't a trained agent on a mission. Maybe he was just some guy. A regular dude from 2256 who somehow stumbled upon a time machine.
Like finding the keys left in the ignition?
Sort of. Maybe it wasn't supposed to have it, wasn't trained, didn't understand the temporal prime directive,
Right.
And like maybe many of us would, his first thought was, hey, I know what happened in the 2000 stock market. I can get rich. So he jumps back, makes a fortune, but does it clumsily because he's just an amateur who got lucky with the tech.
That feels almost more relatable in a weird way.
It does humanize him, doesn't it? It explains the recklessness not as a mission, but as simple greed and maybe a lack of skill or foresight. Most people, handed a time machine, might think lottery numbers or stocks first. It brings the fantasy down to a more understandable, impulsive level. Explains why he got caught.
Okay, so those are the main time travel theories.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also more grounded, though still pretty speculative alternative ideas, right? Like the smuggler spy theory.
Yes, this one ditches the time travel entirely, but keeps the mystery. It suggests the whole I'm from the future story was a brilliant piece of misdirection, a calculated ruse.
To cover up what?
To cover up his real crime. This theory proposes Carlssin wasn't a time traveler, but maybe an incredibly sophisticated insider trader, maybe part of an organized crime ring, or even working for some shadowy intelligence agency doing financial espionage.
So the time travel confession was just smoke and mirrors.
Exactly. A way to distract the SEC and FBI, throw them off the scent of his actual methods, his real sources, his network. It protects his accomplices.
And the lack of a past.
Easily explained under this theory. It's a false identity. A legend, expertly crafted by a spy agency or a major criminal organization that needed a ghost, someone completely untraceable, to move vast sums of money. He wasn't a time traveler ghost, just a regular financial ghost.
A Wall Street ghost.
Oh.
Okay, I like that. Then there's the performance art theory. This one feels connected to the weekly world news origin.
It does, doesn't it? This idea is really intriguing, especially if you think about media and how stories spread. It suggests the entire thing right from the start was maybe intended as, well, performance art or a social experiment.
An experiment in what?
Incredulity. How far could an utterly absurd, demonstrably fake story travel? How readily would people believe it, share it, debate it, especially online? The goal wasn't maybe to deceive maliciously, but to test the boundaries of belief and the mechanisms of viral information.
And the fact that real news outlets ended up debunking it.
Proves the experiment worked. The fact that papers like The Scotsman had to publish articles saying, no, folks, the time-traveling stockbroker isn't real, years later, that shows how successful it was. It's kind of a testament to the provocative, maybe accidental genius of whoever wrote it for the weekly World News. It held up a mirror to how we consume stories.
Which ties perfectly into how academics and people who study internet culture see this now. They call it a postmodern myth or a modern urban legend, right? Like Slender Man.
Exactly like Slender Man or Momo. It's a textbook example. And it's important to understand what makes these postmodern myths different.
How are they different?
Traditional urban legends often grew slowly, person to person, oral tradition. These new myths are often born from clear fiction, could be creepypasta, a satirical article, a photoshopped image, but then they explode online. They gain this perceived reality through sheer repetition, belief, sharing across platforms, and tapping into that collective need for mystery.
And the original context gets lost.
Completely stripped away. With Carlssin, the weekly World News satirical frame vanished almost instantly online. People found the story floating free, presented as a weird news item, and started treating it like a genuine puzzle.
And the fact that Snopes still has to debunk it.
Right. The need for constant re-debunking on Snopes, on Wikipedia, it just highlights how incredibly persistent this story is. It's become part of our digital folklore, a story that just keeps echoing, even though we know where it came from.
So let's try and synthesize this. Why? Why does this story, Andrew Carlssin, refuse to die? Even when the evidence points straight to fiction, what's the magic ingredient?
I think it's that perfect blend we talked about. It hits multiple fascination sweet spots all at once.
Time travel?
The ultimate what if. Control, knowledge, changing fate. Huge appeal.
Getting rich quick.
Wall Street, effortless, massive wealth. Who doesn't fantasize about that sometimes? The ultimate shortcut.
And government conspiracies.
Yeah, the idea of secrets, cover-ups, powerful forces hiding the truth. That resonates deeply with anyone skeptical of authority or official stories. It's just an irresistible cocktail of themes.
It really does highlight the power of internet myth-making, doesn't it? And maybe the dangers.
Oh, absolutely. It's a stark lesson in how the digital age works. A sensational headline, ripped from its context in this case, satire can circle the globe in minutes and be presented as fact.
And forums and social media amplify it.
Exponentially. Early internet forums, conspiracy sites, later social media, even some pseudo-journalism outlets that value clicks over checks. They all feed the beast. They create these echo chambers where a story like Carlson's gets repeated and reinforced until it feels true, even with zero actual proof. It's a huge challenge for media literacy.
So even knowing it's fiction, there's this powerful public need for mystery that can turn even a tabloid story into legend.
I think that's the core of it. The Andrew Carlssin story isn't really a true crime. It's a true internet phenomenon. Because there's no body, no real victim, no verifiable evidence of Carlssin himself, the legend becomes the main event.
A blank canvas.
Exactly. A blank canvas for everyone to project their own ideas about time travel, wealth, government, whatever. And like we said, the debunking is now part of the story's life cycle. Every time Snopes has to say it's fake, it reminds people the story exists and keeps it circulating. It shows how much we sometimes want to believe in something extraordinary.
So, real or not, Andrew Carlssin is definitely an icon now. An icon of viral mystery and proof of how powerful a good story can be, even a fake one.
Undeniably. He's carved out his own strange little niche in internet history.
Which leaves us with one final thought for you, listening out there. If someone really could time travel, if they had that perfect future knowledge, would their first move truly be playing the stock market? Or would their mission, their goal, be something far, far greater? Maybe something we can't even imagine. Thank you for tuning into this deep dive on Threads of Truth. If you enjoyed unraveling the strange case of Andrew Carlssin with us, please do share this deep dive with someone you think might like it, and maybe leave us a review. It really helps other curious minds find the show. Next time on Threads of Truth, we shift from fiction to heartbreaking fact, the case of Lyle Stavik, a young man who checked into a motel under a fake name and took his own life. But for nearly 2 decades, no one knew who he was.